Ladies, gentlemen, and others, welcome to round 1 of the Trout Formula Lithium Sprint Series Season 5 here at the Azure Circuit in Monaco. My name's Ross McIntyre. Now, I must confess, normally I'd have a big intro script prepared for you all today, but I've had to jump in at the last minute. Zach Sweeney was supposed to be on the commentary, and we discovered about 5 minutes ago he is suffering from technical issues, so I'll be at last minute covering for him today. Hopefully we'll also be having a Premier Series Master Split driver Connor Peltman's in with us as well, so hopefully we've got some co-commentary coming along in the near future. I believe he's just staying with his drivers as it stands, but for now he'll just be stuck with me, trying to awkwardly cover what's going on today here in the Formula Lithium Sprint Series. So obviously, as you can see on the screen, we're using the VRC Formula Lithium cars for this series, Season 5 of the Sprint Series here. Last season we used the Dallara F317, I believe it was, and now we've decided to change over to a Formula E Gen 2 style of car. And we're here today at the Azure Circuit in Monaco, but this obviously is not the only track that we'll be going to. No, we've got 8 rounds lined up in this fantastic series, which we've got on our hands, going to Laguna Seca next, Valencia, Zandvoort, Singapore, Silverstone, Bathurst, which should be very interesting if I say so myself, and then rounding it off in Macau. So we've got a great selection of tracks here today. Or, not today, should I say, in this series, but we do have a great track here today. Obviously, the Azure Circuit in Monaco. What else needs to be said? It's the Azure Circuit. It's the jewel in the crown of many a motorsport calendar that comes here. Formula 1, Formula 2, the Renault Eurocup come here. Formula E come here, as we're doing a similar thing here today with these Formula Lithium cars. And we're just midway through qualifying as it stands. Again, apologies for getting underway slightly late. There was a few technical delays that we were experiencing, but hopefully we should all be sorted now. So we're currently following Maxi Junger around. He's a very quick driver, is Maxi. He's currently on provisional pole with 8 minutes left in qualifying. He's got a 1.5 tenth gap to Oscar Williams in P2. It's very tight at the top, but a bit further down the order it's not very tight at all. It's 1.5 tenths to P2 and then 1.2 seconds to P3, so a bit of a gap there at the top to the rest of the field. But hopefully we'll be seeing that close up as qualifying goes on. Obviously the track still needs to evolve. Drivers won't be perhaps pushing at the maximum time. So we'll just have to see what can happen. So let's go on board with Maxi, shall we? Now, unfortunately, the onboard on this car isn't particularly great as he comes into the pits. Maybe we won't go on board with Maxi then. We'll go on board with Oscar Williams instead, shall we? His teammate over at Vermin. He's also coming into the pits. Bit of commentator's curse going there. Alex Heinonen, however, we can follow around. Now, Alex did send me an onboard lap, which I was unfortunately not able to get working on OBS, as Maxi actually disconnects from the session there. So unfortunately we won't be able to get a very detailed onboard lap from this man here, Alex Heinonen. But we can still travel on board with him round the Azure Circuit now, coming into the swimming pool chicane, swimming pool 2. Should I say, is that obviously there's the first chicane before that. Now into Rascasse, infamous corner. Michael Schumacher famously parked here in 2006 in Formula 1 to try and secure himself pole position. That's one of the things you can do here in Monaco. I'm sure we won't be seeing that today, but you can play a little bit dirtily, you know, throw your opponents off by causing a yellow flag. Now here we go, into Zandvoort. Late braking, late apex, try not to clip the wall on the exit. Now hard on the throttle, up Beau Rivage, and now into my personal favourite corner on the circuit, one of my favourite corners, full stop, Massenet. Get as close as you dare to the inside wall, clip the second apex, in to the right-hander at Casino Square, downhill, watch the bump on the exit, Heinonen chooses to go straight over it, that's fair enough. Turning right into Mirabeau now, downhill, slightly off camber, into the infamous hairpin, full lock, don't overshoot it. This is going to be crucial on the first lap of the race. You're going to see 12 cars piling in there at very fast speeds into the second Portier corner, and now into the Monaco Tunnel. Try not to, again, to clip the wall, get loose through here. We've seen many a big crash in real life and sim, and I'm sure we'll be seeing some more today. It's a very tight circuit, is Monaco. And you'll actually typically see many sim racing leagues avoid the circuit just because they know that the amount of crashes that they have there is simply obscene. But here at Formula Trout, we've gone straight ahead. 103 swimming pool 1, not quite flat in these Formula Lithium cars. And swimming pool 2, definitely not flat. But yes, it's we've chosen to come to Monaco here, so it should be very interesting to see how these drivers cope as Heine now through the final corner. Let's see what the lap's going to be as he comes to the line. It's a 127.2 to beat. I'm not quite sure it's going to be that. No, it's a 128.3. Moves him up to P4 as it stands. Still 5 minutes remaining in qualifying, though. Apologies, we've just gone back to my car there in the pitch. Here's Jaap Wagenvoort. Also in the Nova Finlandia car. Heinen's teammate in this series. So he heads through the Lowe's hairpin. Obviously, it's a bit different to have the cars so quiet here at Monaco. Obviously, we're very used to having some very noisy V6 engines in the Formula hybrids, but now we have instead they're replaced by the electric vines. Thank you for the person in chat who's just pointed out how to use this camera. As I've mentioned, I'm still relatively new to the whole broadcasting aspect of things. In my last time out in Austria, I am trying my very best here. But the show must go on regardless. Wagenvoort bouncing over the curbs at swimming pool 2 into Raskas. Another very, very tricky corner. If you lock up here, it could spell at the end of your race, finding yourself well into the wall. Let's see what he's going to get as he comes up to the line. It's third place. It's within 0.5 of a second goes Wagenvoort, so it's the closest we've seen outside of Jünger and Williams in the Vermin squad. So it's the best lap we've seen of anybody else so far. Jan Wagenvoort in the Nova Finlandia number 9. Coming through Mass there. He's going to go on another push lap, and he's drifting through Mass this time. And there's a car there facing the wrong way. I'm not sure who that was. Now another fantastic corner into Mirabeau. Simply phenomenal stuff. You can, if you're feeling very brave, you can pull off an overtake there. Obviously, modern day Formula cars are a lot bigger than they used to be, and it's made overtaking Monaco even harder. So if you want to make places here at the Azure circuit, your best bet is to qualify well, or have, shall we say, some massive cojones out of the tunnel and into the chicane. Again, could be seeing some big accidents there. It's a very tricky braking zone. If you can lock up, you can get yourself very sideways. Watch out for that on the first lap. Wagenvoort was a long way down after that half spin. Let's go with Luca Mengini, the driver currently in P14 and last. He is on a lap heading through Portier 2 and into the tunnel. And a lovely view of the building there, and you can see just how quick these cars are going. You know, they're not the fastest in a straight line, are the Formula Lithiums, but they're still absolutely rapid. There's someone behind Mengini there looking to get through as well. It's all very, very close here. And it's still qualifying as well. 2 minutes and 7 seconds left to go here. Mengini starts his lap. Or finishes lap, should I say, rather. He's gone into a P11 and he's spun coming out of Sainte Devote as well. Oh, and he's clipped. I'm not sure who that was, but he has clipped them. Again, I have stepped in last minute, so I'm not too sure with the liveries of the teams or the drivers. Mengini, though, heavily damaged that front end of that Volpino car. And Philip Old's gone round as well. There you go. So Sainte Devote, the exit of Sainte Devote looks to be quite a tricky section for these cars to handle, obviously, on road tyres. It's not like a proper Formula car. You know, you've not got your slicks. It's all-purpose, very skinny tyres. That's it's super easy just to overdrive the cars, even with the big amounts of downforce that they have. And obviously here at the Azure circuit, you are running maximum downforce. Everybody out now. Maxi Jünger will not be on his final push, but he's still incredibly close to his time. Jünger, obviously a very, very quick driver. He's been doing phenomenally well in the Premier Series Master Split. And he's looking to assert his dominance here today as well in the Sprint Series. Williams as well. It's a 7 1.5 gap as it stands. Let's see what you can do. He'll have the time for another lap as he crosses the line, and he's got even faster. It's a second to Oscar Williams in P2. Oscar Williams, the former champion of this sprint series. That's some lap and some gap there from Maxi Junger as he heads out on another lap. Oscar Williams is done by the looks of things according to my timer. Alex Cochrane also on a lap. He's almost 1.2 seconds off of Junger. And he's down as well, and he's overshot into Mirabeau. Keeps it out of the barrier. That will be Alex Cochrane done for you, though. Max Junger still on a lap. Oh, and he's touched the wall! Junger into the wall. He's already got a second on Williams in P2, and has basically guaranteed himself pole at this point, because I can't see anybody else pulling him out of the bag. But I would like to see if he can get a fast lap tapping the wall. That's not exactly what you want to do, as Wagenvoort goes into P2 with a great lap there, just pipping Williams at the post. And yep, Junger is slightly down. Let's see if he can do anything through this final section. Into swimming pool 2. Don't clip the barrier on the inside. That could spend the end of your race. Into Raskas. Just sliding on the exit. He's really on the limit. Is Max Junger. Look how much the rear of that car is stepping out on him as he comes through the final corners, and he's not going to speed across the line. There's obviously no point. The lap was done after those last two. And there you have it. That will be your qualifying here today for the sprint series of Formula Trout, Formula Lithium Series 5. We're now going to go over to our fancy race graphic. I'm going to put my car into the pits, hopefully. Give it a few seconds. Have a look through the grid. Let's go through the grid shower. That's probably a good idea. So we've got Snowd, Jaeger lining up at the back. Thomas Marshall in front of him. Then in front of him is Luca Mengini, Jamie Elston, Kees Willems, Romain Rattel, Martin van der Land, Philip Ol, Cyprien Stoijn, Dave Southard, Alex Heinonen, Alex Cochrane, Oscar Williams, Jaap Wagenvoort, and then Maxi Junger taking your pole position here at Spa. Hopefully it might let me back to the pits now. Still got a little bit of time until the race goes green. 3 minutes according to my timer. Hopefully as well, a little bit into the race, we'll be joined by Formula Trout Premier Series Master Split driver Connor Peltmans as well for a bit of co-commentary. As we just wait for the race. That is the view that Maxi Junger has. A very empty run down to Saint-Devote. As we wait for the race start. Still not letting me go back to the pits, unfortunately. Now, Junger does have the inside line, but it's not the racing line into turn 1. The racing line belongs to this driver here, Jaap Wagenvoort, lining up in P2 in the Nova Finlandia number 9 car. If he can get a good launch, it might be something to watch out for heading into the first turn. Obviously, it's very, very hard to overtake here at Monaco, and if you're going to do it, it's going to be into turn 1. Indeed, as Connor Peltman says in the chat, there will be heroics into Saint-Devote. Apologies, Jeff. Obviously, the engineer of the Formula 1 games. Known for his infamous line. One minute and 20 seconds to go now until the lights come out. It's still not letting me go back to the pits. Rather annoyingly. You can see the grid lined up behind. That's the view from my car. Not quite sure what's going on at the bottom of the screen there. I believe that's the windscreen wipers. Not sure quite where they're on here on the broadcast car. You can just see the cars all lined up ahead of them. Obviously, this is the only engine sound you'll be hearing today. The Formula Lithium's totally electric power, based off of the Formula E regulations. Makes my my V8 motor look a bit old-fashioned, shall we say. 25 seconds until we go green. Oh, and the first lights are on as my cameras start to have a moment. And here we are, the lights are going on. Green flag drops, we are underway here at the Azure Circuit. It's a great start from Junger as he pulls away into the lead. Going to Sandoval, looks like there's not going to be any overtaking action there. Now coming up, Beaurivage managed to keep it clean through the first corner. I'm going to have to teleport back to the pits quickly. Apologies for that. But heading now back up to Maxi Junger. Looks like he's managed to keep the lead, and it's all action stations as they head through Casino Square on the run down to Mirabeau. No accidents, but looks like he's managed to keep it clean for the time being. You can see there on the right-hand side of the gaps to the drivers is a number. That is the push to pass. You have 2 push to pass. Oh, and there's a spin there. Oscar Williams round. Oh, no. Oscar Williams. Oh, big crash. Big crash. Oh, and there's several drivers into the wall at the hairpin. Oscar Williams round, he goes down all the way into P15. That is not ideal for the start of this race. The man who was lining up in P3 or 4, I believe it was. Oh, and there's a car going very slowly as well. Van der Land is retired from this race already. That's Simon Marshall. No, Thomas Marshall even, should I say, not Simon Marshall. Getting my R-Factor 2 and Assetto Corsa drivers mixed up there. But Thomas Marshall falling down as well here. We've got a bit of a battle here between these two for last place on the road as it stands. But as I was saying, the numbers on the right of the drivers' gaps is the push to pass. You have 2 push to passes per race. There's no gimmicks like in real life Formula E. You don't have to go through any attack modes as Marshall gets a bit of a touch through swimming pool 2. There goes Williams through Easy As You Like. Maxi Junger already heading back up Beaurivage and into Massenet. He's got a huge he's got a huge gap already to second after just 2 minutes out on track. And that's been a pretty perfect race start from Euro, it must be said. But Wagenvort and Heinonen are currently doing very well in the Teams Championship. Obviously, Williams all the way down in P12. For Vermin Bodia, the Nova Finlandia cars are sitting in P2 and 3. So as it stands in the Teams Championship, the Nova Finlandia cars are doing very well. And Alex Cochrane as well, P4. He's not too far off as well. So we could be seeing some strategy perhaps come into play. We'll just have to see what happens as well over the course of this race. Let's have a look at Oll and Stone as they come out of the tunnel. These two are absolutely neck and neck. Oh, and a bit of a touch into the wall there for Oll. Let's go on board with him now as he comes through swimming pool 2. You can see in his mirrors there, his teammate is all over the back of him. There's a bit of a gap in front of him as well. I'm not sure if these two are going to play it nice and hold station. Perhaps hold off Keys Wilhelms behind them, or if they're going to battle it out as Maxi Junger sets the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 27.467. That's not bad at all, especially considering we are this early into the race. Heading up Beaurivage now. And into Massenet. I've said it many times already. This race, it's a fantastic corner. Just absolutely it feels so satisfying when you get it right. And a bit of a touch into the wall there from Oll actually. And I believe Heinonen may have actually made a mistake as well, because looking at his times, he's fallen quite a way back from Wagenvort. And Wagenvort again falling back from Junger as well. See the inside of the famous Monaco Tunnel. Fortunately, there appears to be a tower or boat getting in the way of the exit. Yeah, no, Finlandia cars currently doing a great job in P2 and 3 respectively. That'll be a great finish for the first race of the season. Wagenvort putting in a spectacular quali lap to just pip Heinonen. Southern as well, Southern and Cochrane neck and neck, also holding action stations. It would appear that it's got some team groupings going on. We've got Wagenvort and Heinonen, Cochrane, Southern, Old Stone. It's all together here at the Azure circuit. And there's Luca Mengini as well behind. He's made up some really strong positions at the start as Junger sets another fastest lap of the race as he disappears off into the distance. Mengini's had a great start. He was up from P13, I believe it was, up to P10. That's not bad at all, but Williams is on the charge and is not far behind. Romain Rattel with this group here at the back. Keys Wilhelms currently trying to see if he can find a way past Stein. Heading into the hairpin now. Just look at how much lock these cars have to put on. You know, that it's not exactly a small car as the Formula Lithium, and most modern day Formula cars are not, and it is such a boat sometimes when it comes to going through those corners. And bear in mind the seemingly little mechanical grip that these cars have as well, given they run on road tyres. It really can make tackling that corner just a little bit tricky, as Willems almost makes a mistake there on the entry to the chicane. Coming through to back now, another great corner and another touch into the wall for Willems there. The front of his car is already looking a little bit shaky. A lock up there for Rattel and a lock up for Willems as well. And Rattel's going to have a look around the outside into Raskas. This could be a great move. He's decided to back off though, which is very smart in my opinion. That'd be very brave down the outside. We've got some new personal bests coming through. Junger, his gap, 3 seconds in the lead at the moment. Southern and Cochrane, though, all over each other. They're not appearing to battle, though. They are appearing to hold station. Let's go on board with Southern, shall we? In the 888 car, number 47, sporting a very recognisable blue and red livery. Must be said that the attention to detail in the liveries of Formula Trout in general is always fantastic. It's great to see, you know, such professional looking cars on the grid. It really adds to the immersion and to the wow factor of the series. Coming to the chicane now, you can just see the train of cars ahead of them. The lead trio: Junger, Wagenvort, Heinonen. Obviously Cochrane in front. Bit of a slide there for Southern coming through to back. That's not a place you want to be getting a losing grip, shall we say, given it's a very fast corner and there's a very tight wall on the exit, such as the Azure circuit. Coming to Raskas now. Again, a very tricky corner, blind late apex, sliding on the exit. Southern, he's pushing super hard at the moment. 12 minutes and 30 seconds left in this race. Obviously, after this, we have race 2 as well, with a reversed top 8. And that was Heinonen on the inside there. I didn't even register that out of the corner of my vision. Alex Heinenen's had a spin. And so Oscar Williams sets the fastest lap on his charge into the top 10. Heinonen, who was in P3, obviously having a spin out of Sander Vogt. We saw that many, many times in qualifying. And he's round now in the race. So there you go, Alex Heinonen finds himself down in P5. He does have the pace. He might be able to catch up to Cochrane and Southern. Just have to see what he can do. It's a 6.5 second gap from Wagenvort to Cochrane at the moment. That is phenomenally big. It's just putting such a... showing what you and Wagenvort are doing at the moment, if you'll excuse me there. Keys, Wilhelms, still all over the back of Stone. Williams as well behind. He's made his way past Romain Rattel. He's got his attack mode on, does Wilhelms, as does Williams. They are pushing. You can see by the flashing LED lights on the top of the halo structure. That means they've got their attack mode on. They've got extra power. They can achieve an extra 40 kilometers an hour down the straight. Let's go on board with Williams, shall we? See the Welsh driver who did qualify well up the grid. He spun early on down at the hairpin. Now fighting his way through the pack. He's got to dispatch Kees Willems next. Does tap the wall on the exit of Sandervoort. That's not exactly what you want to do, but we've seen he's got the pace. He's been slicing his way through the field this race. He's in P9 at the moment. However, there is almost a degree of tactics for race 2 coming in here, because Williams, it depends how much pace he believes he has. As he goes for the look into the hairpin, doesn't quite go for it, which is very good idea in my opinion. And we see the top 8 for race 2 are reversed. So the question is, Williams could find himself in P8. He may not want to push any further, because then suddenly he's got pole position in race 2. But if he believes he's got the pace, you know, he may just carry on pushing and not feel the need to carry on pushing through. And it's apologies, it's a top 10 reverse grid, not a top 8. I don't know why I thought it was a top 8 there. So it's a top 10 reverse grid. So even now, he's still be lining up P2. So it all depends on how much pace Williams thinks he has heading into race 2, and how much you know, what grid position he's willing to drop down to. You know, if he's not confident enough with his pace to overtake the top drivers, you know, does he stay where he is as he goes for a look into Sandervoort again? Dave Southard, the first driver. Oh, and he big touch on the wall there. That's gonna cause some front end damage. You can see, yeah, the wheel arch is not looking particularly healthy on the front left. Dave Southard and Luca Mengini both using up their push to passes, their attack modes. 8 minutes to go, 9 minutes to go, should I say. Williams goes for a look down into Mirabeau. That is a phenomenal move. Can he keep it held into the Lowe's hairpin? And yes, he can. Phenomenal move there by Oscar Williams up into P8, down the inside of Mirabeau. Gave a bit of a shove to Kees Willems, told him he was there. And that is as easy as they come. Down the inside, lovely stuff. There's a bit of a tiff going on here between Mengini and Marshall, I believe. These two neck and neck coming through Mirabeau as well. And who's that running very wide? Elston almost into the wall there in the background. Oh dear, Mengini almost into the back of Marshall. Mengini believes he's got the pace at the moment. Coming into the tunnel. Let's go on board with Mengini, shall we? In the Volpino car. Into the chicane. He's clearly got the pace advantage over Marshall at the moment. This group at the back, he was all over the back of Thomas Marshall just a second ago. The gap increases over. Dave Southard is very close to Alex Cochrane as it stands. 5/10 separating them now. And I now believe I am actually contractually obliged to say this in every event I do commentate over. Unfortunately, I do apologise for making this a thing, but obviously they do say you can't stop the cock, and I'm sure that Alex is going to make his car as wide as he physically can. That was a big wobble coming out of Portier 2 there, though. 7 minutes remaining here at the Azure Circuit in Monaco. Coming into Tabac now, a very tricky corner, especially with the lack of mechanical grip that these cars have on these road tyres. Oh, what a big slide there from Southard, heading through swimming pool 1. That was a real brown suit moment, it must be said. You can see how much he's pushing. He's sliding through every corner and then just through swimming pool 1, full opposite lock. You know, well over 140 kilometers an hour through there. That is a very, very nerve-wracking, I'm sure, for Mr. Southard. And that's allowed Cochrane to just pull that gap a bit. And another slide. Just look how oversteery this car is through the corners. Cochrane now has a bit of breathing space, but Southard doesn't, because just behind him It's Alex Heinonen, who's perhaps benefiting from all this sliding that Southard's doing, and he has actually activated his attack mode as we speak. Or it's just finished, by the looks of things, actually, but if you go on board, that's not Alex Heinonen, that's Alex Heinonen. And that is a very close gap. Alex, who was running P3 earlier, his teammate Wagenvoort in P2, spin out of Sander Vogt the first turn. Now finds himself down in P5. He's got both 888 cars to deal with here. 5 minutes and 38 seconds left on the clock. Just got to see what he can do. Let's stay on board with him for the time being through to back, and just look how much Southern is sliding. That's a huge moment. Heinonen probably feels very nervous following Southern through these corners, because if Southern goes around, it's the Azure circuit. There's nowhere to go at all. Coming into the final corner now, and on to the main straight. It's just a little bit too far back, and Cochrane has shot off into the distance. Up Beau Rivage. Heinonen has got his attack mode activated. You can see the lights on the halos flashing. He's got a lot of extra horsepower on the straights as it stands. And it looks like Southern does slightly have the advantage through the first sector, but then he's sliding so much through the ends of sector 2 and 3 that Heinonen can just absolutely go past him if the opportunity presents itself. The attack mode lasts for 2 minutes unless I'm mistaken. So when you press your push to pass button on your wheel, you get 2 minutes of extra horsepower, 2 minutes of 40 kilometers an hour in the straight. Heinonen gap closing under the braking zone. Southern almost staying on the anchors through the corner to try and mess up Heinenen's exit. Southern keeps it clean through to back that time round, and swimming pool 1 as well. And Southern is really struggling through these sector 3 corners. Oh, and he's run wide into Waskas. Oh, and Southern almost in the barriers in Raskas. And that will be Alex Heinonen up into P4. I believe he just locked up the brakes, or perhaps on the brakes too late. Managed to just keep it out of the wall, I believe. But down into P5 goes Dave Southern. Up into P4 goes Alex Heinonen. And now he's got Alex Cochrane to chase down to try and fight and get back that P3. He's got 3 minutes and 20 seconds to do so. Now, I believe Thomas Marsh and Luca Mengini have had an accident or something, because they've got a big gap separating those two. Williams as well, all over the back of Ollie. He's still been fighting his way through the pack. Wow, this is razor tight as they're coming to the hairpin. Oh, and all goes wide, and here goes Williams up the inside. He's going to manage to sweep around the outside into Portier 1, and Portier 2 confirms the move is done. Oscar Williams up into P6. That will be P4 on the grid in race 2. Continuing on his charge after that spin at the hairpin on lap 1. The Cochrane and Heinonen. And Heinenen's got through Cochrane even, apologies. So Alex Cochrane and Alex Heinonen swapped position there while I was looking at Williams. Apologies for that as they go past that lapped car there. I believe that's Jaeger they've just gone through. So Alex Heinonen finds himself back into P3. Order is restored. Normality as usual. Wagenvoort and Heinonen back to where they were, as with Southern and Cochrane. P2, 3, 4, 5 respectively. Williams as well in the background chasing them down. I'm not quite sure he's going to be able to close that 7-second gap in 1 minute and 45 seconds. Sticking with Alex Cochrane at the moment. He might try a late lunge on Heinonen. Just have to see what happens. Let's go on board through the channel. Or the tunnel even, should I say. This Triple A team have been very strong today. Hello stream, it says. on the halo of the car. I'm sure they mean it. Coming now into back. Let's see how Alex does through here. His teammate was sliding all over the place. A lot more stable is Cochrane in that number 7 car. Coming through Raskas and into the Anthony Nogues corner. Final turn here at the Azure circuit. You can see in his mirrors as well. Just chasing him. Southard 5/10 separating them at the moment. It's closer. Southard may commit some treason here perhaps. Overtake Cochrane. He may think he's faster. Coming into the last portion of this race. There's 20 seconds to go. And let's catch up with the man who I've hardly spoken about in this race. Maxi Younger. He's been absolutely dominant, as per is the normal. And he's already weaving. Frankly, he looks bored. It's been a very quiet race. He's got 7 seconds to Wagenvoort in P2. And he's shown why he's such a quick driver in the Master Split here today in the Premier Series. Because in the Sprint Series, he's been in an absolute class of his own in Race 1 here. Coming into Swimming Pool 2. Just keeping an eye on that gap between Southard and Cochrane. It's very tight. Into Raskas for the final time in Race 1. And into the Anthony Nogues corner. It's been a simply dominant performance here from Maxi Younger. He gives it a bit of a wobble. Maxi Younger will be your Race 1 winner of the Formula Trout Sprint Series. Race 1, Round 1 at Monaco. And he does a drift into the first turn. Just for good measure. What a dominant performance. Heinen will take P3 as Wagenvoort takes P2. Cochrane and Southard. Oh my goodness me. I think we've just seen a mass murder there. Stowen and R will hold station. Willems will be in behind them. That will be your order here today. Maxi Younger's car not looking too happy. Younger taking the win here at Monaco in Race 1. Wagenvoort in P2. Heinen rounding out the podium. Fighting his way back up to P3. Cochrane P4. Southern P5. Williams with a masterful recovery drive up into P6. He'll be one to watch out for in Race 2 with the reverse grid. All in P7. Stowe in P8. Willems P9. Rattel in P10. He'll be taking the pole position for Race 2, the reverse grid race. Marshall in P11. Mengini will come home in P12. Elston and Jäger P13 and 14. And Van der Land, unfortunately, being the only retirement from the race today. A pretty eventful Race 1, it must be said. As we now just wait for the second race to load in. As the drivers apparently disconnect from the server. Mengini still going round. And Mengini, the last driver to cross the line. Appear that everyone's left the server, bar a few, which is not what you're supposed to do, because there's a second race here. In Formula Lithium, there's a reverse grid race. So, hopefully they'll be able to rejoin. I'm just not too sure what's happened there. Luca Mengini now. All the drivers aren't now leaving, it would appear. So, perhaps, unless I'm wrong, we see a few drivers there. And they're just being kicked out of the hairpin. I'm not quite sure. And Luca Mengini putting on some smoke machine there into the hairpin. He has finished, obviously. We'll just go aboard with him while we're waiting for the second race to begin. And while we wait for the second race, I think we'll just have a quick break. And we'll be back with you shortly for the beginning of the second race. So make sure you stick around for race 2 here in the Formula Trout Sprint Series. Formula Lithium Season 5. Everybody is back in the pit lane. We'll be back very, very shortly. Welcome back to the Formula Trout Sprint Series. Race 2 here at the Azure Circuit. Romain Rattel is your man on the pole, finishing obviously P10 in the previous race. This race being reverse grid. He will be your pole sitter as we wait for the race to commence. So it'll be Romain Rattel on the pole. That's me, I'm not driving. Kees Willems taking P2, Cyprian Stowe in P3, Philip Pole P4, Oscar Williams in P5. That's a very strong position to be starting in. Dave Southard P6, Alex Cochran P7, Alex Heinen in P8, Jaap Wagenvoort P9, your previous race winner Maxi Junger in P10. Then Thomas Marshall just missing out on that reverse grid, P11, Luke Mengini P12, Jamie Austin P13, Snow Jaeger P14, and Martin van der Laan, the only retirement in the previous race, rounding out the grid. As we now just wait for the lights. And I believe we've been joined by one Connor Peltmans. Hello.
Hello, Ross. This is going to be very interesting. Verse grid. Hopefully not too many heroics in the Sandoval, but we'll see.
Yep, hopefully not. If I just show you my screen on the Discord, and you should be able to see what I see. There you are. As we're now just waiting for race 2 to begin. 1 minute and 45 seconds until the lights go on. Now, obviously, I saw that you were watching the first race with your drivers in your team Discord, Connor, and you're obviously keeping an eye on what was happening. So have you got any predictions heading into this race?
I've just told Roman no pressure, just get some points, and remember he can use the entire track to defend.
That is some very solid advice here at the Azure Circuit. Obviously, if you make your car as wide as possible, it can really pay you dividends, especially if you're going off the pole, like Romain Rattel is here in this reverse grid race 2. Just now waiting about a minute left until the start of this race. Now, obviously, reverse grid racing just adds a bit of spice to the equation, shall we say. People who you wouldn't normally expect to see that far down the grid, the drivers who are normally at the front of the grid, find themselves in the middle or at the back, apart from Oscar Williams, who I think is going to be the biggest threat to the lead of this race today. Obviously, he was spun out at the first lap at the hairpin, found himself all the way down in P15, or 14 even, should I say, due to a retirement from Van der Laan, and put on an absolutely phenomenal comeback up into P6. And now he finds himself P5 on it, or P5 on the grid. And it should be interesting to see what he's able to do here today, as the lights go on shortly, hopefully. And here we are. You won't see any engines roaring up today because it's all electric. Formula Lithium The lights are out. Away we go. Romain Rattel gets a great start away from pole position. Looks like he's going to be able to hold the play into T1. Let's see if we can keep it clean behind. Coming up, Beau Rivage. Rattel holds onto the lead. I'm just going to quickly send my car back to the pits. Apologies for that. We're going to stay with Rattel up into... And he's going to run slightly wide through Massenet. And through Casino Scope, but he's holding the lead as it stands. Oscar Williams already up into P4 and using. And there's lockups everywhere by the sounds of things. Cars just jostling for position. Let's see if we manage to keep it clean through the hairpin this time round. Thomas Marshall. And we have got contact there. Elston, I believe, and Younger that was coming together. Oh, and there's a spin there. And that's Alex Cochrane going round. Round he goes, and 2 wide. That's Luca Mengini trying to go past the outside of Thomas Marshall. Rattel holds the lead of this race. And what an action-packed opening few corners we've seen. Rattel actually activating his push to pass, his attack mode there. He's going to get 2 minutes of extra power, an extra 40 kilometers an hour available to him with this power. As he locks up, coming through, and everybody locks up. Everybody locks up through swimming pool 2 there, it would seem. So, Rattel running very wide into Raskas. Marshall as well, falling well down the order. He's had a spin coming into swimming pool 2. Bit of a hectic opening lap here, Connor.
Very. We kind of expected that with the reverse grid, though. And Philip Ohl goes around.
Yep, Philip Ohl looks to have made some contact with someone there coming out of Anthony Nogues. That is not a place you want to spin. Oh, and there's Alex Cochrane as well, almost going around out of the last corner. Big wobble there for Cochrane. He's down in P12. He's got a big fight on his hands. Rattel holding the lead. He's got now a second to Willems in P2. And Southard's round. Southard's down the order as well. So both Triple Eight cars find themselves down in P13 and P12. That's really not what you wanted them to be, especially after such a strong finish in race 1.
What's happened to Willems?
And Willems as well. Yep, looks like Willems has been overtaken by... Oscar Williams there, so Williams begins his conquest. He's up into the podium. He's just starting to beat now. He's got his attack mode on, it would appear. Yes, he does. Let's go on board with him now. That's the wrong camera. That's the right camera. And Philip Ohl has retired from the race 3 minutes in. That's a shame to see from Ohl. Oh, and there goes Rattel! Rattel goes round the leader of the race. Round he goes. Round into back, we saw in the lot, and he's DNF'd. Romain Rattel out of this race. Round he went into back.
Very upset with that.
Yeah, he's one of your drivers, Connor. Obviously you can probably speak them after the race, but what do you think happened there?
I don't know. There's a lot of random bumps with this track mod, and it's not the best made, but yeah, I probably just hit one of those bumps on the inside.
And it is a very tricky corner, is to back. And we can see here the scene of the crime. Alex Heinonen sets the fastest lap of the race. Stoen then inherits the lead. Cipher and Stoen trying to hold off Oscar Williams and Keys Willems respectively. Williams absolutely charging through as it stands. He's going to go super defensive into Mirabeau. Southard sets the fastest lap of the race. Mengini's out as well, so it's a double DNF there for Volpino. I'm not quite sure what's happened. And Williams is going to go round the outside at the hairpin. What a move by Oscar Williams to the lead of the race. That was absolutely phenomenal stuff. I don't think I've ever seen a move like that in my time as a sim racing commentator. Wow, great stuff from Oscar Williams into the lead of the race. And I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing him shoot off into the distance now. His teammate Max Young are currently down in P6. Currently trying to negotiate his way past Wagenvoort. And they're neck and neck. And Young are not quite able to get the position done through the chicane. These two all over each other. Jungo has his attack mode activated at the moment, and Wagenvoort does not. So this will be what you are seeing. Sorry, as the cameras go a bit haywire again. And oh no, there's contact between the pair of them. A nudge from Jungo sends Heinen into the outside. He's going to move to the inside. We're not entirely sure that's a clean racing. Could be some discussions with the stewards post-race about that, but again, I'm gonna go shoot here, Connor. You're the experienced one. You're the driver here. That's not entirely clean from my perspective. What do you think?
Yeah, Maxi didn't really have a gap there. He went for a gap that didn't really exist, and I think we can expect a report after the race.
Yep. So we'll just have to keep our eyes peeled on that. Max Junger quite literally forcing his way into P5. Oscar Williams, his teammate, already has a 2.5 second gap to Keys Willems into P2. Stowen in P3 as well. He's been done by Willems as well, it would appear. Heinonen as well, P4. It's super tight is the battle for P2. It's all Stowen at the moment as Southern overtakes Jäger to go into the top 10. This is the battle, it would seem, at the moment. You can see in the mirrors of Stowen how close Heinonen is. That white Nova Finlandia car just occupying every inch of reflective surface that Stowen has. Coming into swimming pool 2 now, bouncing over the curbs. Bit too deep there from Stowen. It's going to cost him a lot of momentum on the exit of the corner. Heinonen creeps ever closer through Raskas. He might be willing to have a dive into Anthony Noakes. No, he does not.
Very impressive from Keys Willems.
Yeah, it is impressive from Alex Willems, to be fair. He's holding his own, and Oscar Williams as well is just absolutely shot into the distance. Max Junger sets the fastest lap of the race. Look how tight the two in front of Heinonen are. And I'm sure Alex's tactic for this is just sit tight and wait for them to have an accident, because at the moment, that's what it looks like they're going to be doing. Coming into Massenet, Heinonen very cautious through the left-hander. He's not pushing at all. Losing a lot of time to Oscar Williams in P1, but that doesn't matter when you could be in an accident and out of this race. And as they head into the hairpin now, and it's still very close. There's Maxi Junger as well in the background. Thomas Marshall retires from the race. 4 retirements from this reverse grid event. And yet Maxi Junger already in P5. So we could be seeing very, very shortly a 1-2 on our hands. I wanted to die from Heinonen. Oh, it's very late from Heinonen. Stones actually had to cut the corner there. And Maxi Junger as well, all over the back. Junger's going to have a look into the back. That would be very brave indeed. He's going to back out of it. And
smart.
I think that might have been an advantage gained from Stowen there. And yeah, very smart from Maxi Junger. I think he wants to avoid a similar incident from last time. I think
Stoyan should be fine. He kind of had to cut the corner.
Oh no, there's contact between the pair! Contact between Stoyan and Heinonen, and Junger runs into the back of Heinonen as well. I believe it was Stoyan ran into the wall and then just bounced into Heinonen there, but all three managed to look like they came along okay, and Wagenvort as well is now in this battle behind Junger. So we've got a 4-way battle for P3, it would seem. This is phenomenal stuff in race 2, but as you were saying, yes, I'm going to have to agree there. I think Stoyan did have to avoid the corner. He may have gained a small advantage. Perhaps we should be okay. Heinonen has his attack mode on, as does Stoyan. Junger biding his time. Wagenvort is using his attack mode as well. He's used both his attack modes already very early. Oh no, there's contact! Heinonen tries to force his way through on Stoyan. Doesn't quite make it. Contact between the pair. Junger now is going to have a look to the inside of Portier too. Contact between the pair as well. Heinonen almost into the wall. Oh, and core contact. That's going to allow Wagenvort through on Heinonen. Junger goes through as well. Drama here around Portier. And Heinonen clipping the wall on the exit of the corner again. Wagenvort is not. Heinonen breaks super late again. And more. Oh no, and round goes Junger. Round goes Junger.
Oh, he tapped him round.
Junger round, tacked round by Heinonen, and that's going to allow Wagenvort and Van der Land's getting in there as well out of nowhere. Oh my goodness me, what an incredible half lap we've had here at the Azure Circuit in race 2 of the Formula Trout Sprint Series. Oh my goodness me, looks like Heinonen is going to hold on to P4. Junger all the way down to P7 now, but we know he's got the pace to make that back up if he doesn't have too much damage. You have to see what he can do. Van der Land's managed to get the jump on Wagenvort amid all of that. And Stowen's managed to just pull away from all of them. So Stowen now, with I believe it's a 4-second gap to Heinonen. Yep, you can see there all the way up Beau Rivage. Willems is already 10.5 seconds back from Williams, who's already down at the hairpin. He's got some gap to himself. This is incredible stuff from Oscar Williams here, Connor.
Yeah, a second a minute.
It's a phenomenal pace here from the man in the lead. Wagenvort with his attack mode on, looking very spicy indeed in comparison to Van der Land. Junger as well, attack mode on. He's already closed that gap to 1.3 seconds. Cochrane as well on the approach. It's super close here as they head into the tunnel.
Wow. Very exciting race so far. More like Formula bumper cars.
That's you can say that again. It's been a contact all over the shop, and Junger already onto the back of Vargavort. Heinenen's managed to get a bit of a gap as they come through swimming pool 1 and into swimming pool 2. Oh, it's very deep from Heinenen there. He's going to have to back off in order to not overtake Van der Lant there. And it's Vargavort even, should I say. Junger's going to draw alongside him.
Oh, he's put him in the wall.
Van der Lant just hung Junger out to dry, except instead of there being runoff, there was a wall there. I mean, it's a legit...
honest,
sorry, you do go ahead there, Connor.
To be honest, Max, he shouldn't have been out there. But yeah, did put him in the wall there a bit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a brave move trying to go around the outside of Raskas. Obviously, Connor is the driver here. He's going to be the almost my colour commentator, the man who makes all the calls on what's right and what's wrong. But Junger's still all over the back of Vargavort. Look how tight they are. But you know, when the gap's there, you've got to go for it, I suppose. And Vargavort just left him with nowhere to go, and he didn't back out of it. It would appear he wanted to keep the momentum up. He thought it'd be better to run into the wall slightly, as Vargavort runs very deep on the exit of the hairpin. Junger and Cochrane now. Again, Cochrane onto the back of this battle, though this has allowed Heinenen and Van der Lant to shoot off into the distance. Coming through the tunnel now. Let's go on board with Maxi Junger. Coming into the chicane. Oh, big wobble, bit of a rear lockup, it would seem there from Junger as they head through the chicane. Coming through to back now, over the bumps.
Getting impatient.
Oscar Williams sets another fast up at the race. He's got 15 seconds to Keys Willems as it stands.
Wow.
That is a huge gap. We've got 8 minutes remaining in this race. That is some phenomenal pace from Oscar Williams out the front as it stands. Phenomenal stuff here. And as we head into Sandevot, Junger still all over the back of Vargavort. He's going to have a look up Beau Rivage. That's a bit keen. Coming into Massenet, surely not. That would be Junger. Oh. No way is he going to get this done. No, can't quite. Oh, and Heine. Very defensive contact. More contact between them. And there goes Alex Cochrane up the inside. Alex Cochrane's going to take both of them into Mirabeau. Wow. And that's going to load Junger up the inside as well. Is he going to manage to hold the line? No, that's going to... Vargavort's going to keep the inside. Junger's going to try and do the switch back there. I think that was contact between them, but Junger gets the move done. Bit of contact between them. Elston's now all over the back of them as well. Wow, Cochrane just absolutely spotted the gap. Junger tried to go for a phenomenal move down the outside at Massenet, which had it stuck. Would have... Oh, hats off to Max Junger if he'd have stuck that. That would have been phenomenal. Couldn't quite get it done. Then, super defensive from Vargavort. Both of them drove out super wide, lost all the momentum. Alex Cochrane said, "Oh, thank you very much. I'll have some of that." Down the inside, up into P6 goes Alex. Great stuff here at the Azure Circuit. This has been an absolutely chaotic race too here, and we've now got Elston to deal with as well behind these two drivers. As at the moment up the front, and Stoen looks like Heinenen's not too far behind as well. So Alex Heinenen's made some great progress. As I say that, into the wall heavily goes Alex Heinenen. That was a big smash. Obviously, would that be real life? That would very much be race over. Luckily, here in Assetto Corsa, we're only running, I believe it's about 50 to 75% damage. Do correct me if I'm wrong there. And yeah, that's not going to do your front end any good. And Junger now still having to contend with Vargavort behind. Cochrane is pulling a bit of a gap. So is Junger. Junger appears to be actually going with Cochrane this time. Heading into the hairpin. As they come
19
through.
19 seconds lead.
Portier 1 and 2, and yet a 19 seconds lead for Oscar Williams. That is some absolutely phenomenal stuff there from the man in the lead at the moment. Maxi Junger has a look, and both of the cars go straight over the hairpin.
Oh my god.
That's great stuff there from Maxi Junger. Coming through swimming pool 1, they are absolutely neck and neck. Junger having a look into swimming pool. That would be a very daring move. Coming into Rascath, it's one of the few overtaking opportunities under the circuit. Unfortunately, he's not quite going to be close enough this time round. 5 minutes remaining here in race 2 of the Formula Trout Sprint Series Season 5. Formula Lithium Race 2 here at the Azure Circuit in Monaco. Flying across the line, these two absolutely locked in battle. Great camera there through Saint-Devote, named so due to the church that sits on the outside of the corner. Into Massenet, Junger touches the wall. He's not going to try a similar thing to last time, to what he tried on Wagenvort, which is very smart, must be said. He was a bit too far back anyway. Heinenen's looking very close on Stowen. He's looking very close to Williams, must be said. Let's have a look at this battle as they head through the portiers. Oh, actually, Stowen's actually dropped massively back there, so perhaps a bit of a mistake from Stowen. It's held Heinenen up as well. Heinenen using his attack mode at the moment. Junger trying to look to the outside around Portier 2. Let's see if he can get the momentum through the tunnel. He's looking closer than ever. He's going to try perhaps draw to the inside into the chicane. No, can't quite get it done. Squirming under the brakes all over the place. These cars do not have a lot of mechanical grip. So what you do have is very precious. It's important you don't overdrive it. Heinenen goes up into P3. Looks like he did it through the swimming pool section as well. So great stuff there from Alex Heinenen up into P3. Williams has a 21-second lead.
Wow, fantastic. It's going to be interesting to see how Keys Willems holds off Alex Heinenen at the last part of the race.
Indeed, 3 minutes and 20 seconds left to go on the clock here. And, yeah, we know that Heinenen has the pace advantage over Willems. We'll just have to see if Willems can make his car as wide as it physically can. Still following Junger and Cochrane round at the moment. Alex doing everything he can to make that car an absolute moving chicane for Maxi Junger behind, heading through Massenet. Junger just needs to pick his moment. He definitely has the pace advantage on Cochrane. We've seen that in race 1. It's actually a bit of a lock-up from Alex there as well, and they're catching this group in front of them at the rate they're going as Southern moves up into P9. We know that Junger has the advantage. It's just, when does he make the move? He needs to think smart, but he needs to think quickly. There's only 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Another few laps in it, and that will be it here at the Azure Circuit. Van der Lande ahead has activated his final attack mode. I believe Cochrane as well is also on his attack mode. Yes, he is. You can see there, just they're going past the flashing LEDs on the halo, indicating the extra power, the extra speed for these Formula Lithium cars. He's going to have a look. Is Junger into swimming pool 2? Decides to not. Again, still just biding his time. Keep your eye on that Heinenen gap as well. It's already a second. Down to a second. He's lapping 1.4 seconds quicker on that last lap. Is Alex Heinenen on Keys Willems. Some phenomenal stuff there from the Finn. Connor, it's been a pretty hectic race, must be said. What do you think? Do you reckon Heinenen's going to be able to do Willems as we head into the last few minutes? Do you reckon Junger as well might be able to do Cochrane over the last minute and a half?
I think it would be very impressive for Keys Willems if he could hold off Alex Heinenen. The gap is already 7/10 and with a second and a half per lap. It's going to be a big challenge. Oh, as Junger goes glitching. But, yeah. And I think Alex has enough experience to know how to hold off Maxi in the end, so I think he'll be able to do that quite well.
There you are, Connor Peltman's our in-house driver expert. Alex Heinenen still all over the back of Keys Willems, who's doing a phenomenal job making that car as wide as he can. He's also using his final attack mode in these last seconds. I'm pretty certain this will be the last lap that we're heading on to now. On a big locker from Willems there.
Big lock up. Yeah,
oh, and Heinenen's in the wall though. Heinenen had an opportunity there and he's actually almost thrown it away. It's going to need some great stuff. Junger is closer than ever to Cochrane, who's closer than ever to Van der Lande. We could have a three-way battle for P5 here on our hands at the end. Heinenen has dropped back. Junger pulling to the outside. He's looking desperately for any sort of pace advantage he can get. He's trying to get close to that wall, get the thin air. Oh no, he's round! Maxi Junger round at Saint-Devote. Oh no! It's going to be down into P8. Wagenvort gets through. That will be Maxi Junger. out of the battle for P5. Heinonen as well, still there or thereabout, but this man in the lead of this race has driven absolutely spectacularly, hasn't he, Connor?
Yeah, Oscar, no matter what car it is, he always performs. Great job from him.
He does indeed. It's been absolute domination. 22-second gap to Keys Willems as he heads through swimming pool 2 now. He used, well, his race 1 didn't exactly go to plan with that spin on lap 1 at the hairpin. He used all his might to get up to P6 and then use that reverse grid to his advantage to just absolutely dominate here today. Oscar Williams will be your race 2 winner here at the Azure Circuit in Monaco for the Formula Trout Sprint Series. He goes slowly across the line. Wow, what a performance there from Oscar Williams. Great stuff. Great.
Heinonen gets past Willems.
And Heinonen, yes, Heinonen has got through Willems coming into the last corner. Willems, I think, has gone round because Stone's got through as well.
No, that is heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking.
Not quite sure what happened there. Unfortunately, we did not quite catch it. But it looks like Willems is going to come home in P4, Cochrane P5, and who is that? Willems decides to fire it up into the inside.
He's going to be heartbroken. That is
that's such a shame for Keys Willems, who was doing a great job up in P2 until the final few corners.
Yeah, so still very impressive.
That will be your race 2 results. Oscar Williams P1, Alex Heinonen P2, Sloan rounding out the podium. Keys Willems, an unfortunate P4, Alex Cochrane P5, Wagenvoort in P6, Maxi Junger in P7 after that late spin, Van der Lande in P8, Dave Sullivan P9, Elson P10. Jaeger is the last running car in P11, and Marshall, Rattel, Mengini and all retiring from the race. Now, unless we have a few interviews, which is obviously a possibility, and we do have Maxi Junger waiting for an interview, so we'll just go to that now. So, I'm just going to bring Maxi in. Maxi Junger, race 1 winner, and race 2, 7th place. Very quick time, and he's put on a great display for us today. How are you doing, Maxi?
Pretty well. Pretty happy with that win. Pretty good race.
Yep, was indeed. Obviously, you were fighting right up until the end of race 2, and you had that spin coming out of Sandoval. Was the grip particularly tricky today at the Azure Circuit? Obviously, it's the Formula Lithium cars don't have a lot of mechanical grip, as I was saying earlier. But with those road tyres, is it just particularly hard to try and find the limit? Is it just when you push a little bit too hard, is it particularly punishing?
It is very slidey. I don't know if you guys have watched any of the quality or at least my quality on board, but it's sideways a lot of the time. So indeed, it's quite tricky to control, and especially at that point, my tires were gone, and I was trying to push to overtake Alex, and it just went with my mistake. It just went from me, and I didn't catch it in time.
Oh, that's fair enough. And just one more question before you head off. Obviously, the Azure Circuit is not a particularly long circuit. It's quite short. So perhaps we didn't see the full extent of the attack mode push-to-pass system today. But however, when we go into the next round at Road America, do you think at a track that's a lot quicker, a lot longer straights, is that where you think we're really going to see the strategic use of attack mode? That's when it's really going to come into play.
I think so, because on Monaco already it was worth 4/10, so a lap. So you can imagine on a track with long straights what's gonna produce.
Indeed, we'll just have to see. There you are. Thank you very much for coming in, Maxi Junger, race 1 runner, and great performance again. So thank you very much for joining us, Maxi.
Thank you. And thank you for commentating, as always.
It's no worries. And shout out to Connor as well for coming into the booth for the second race as well. And now we've just got a quick interview as well with Jaap Wagenvoort, who also put in a strong performance. Hello, Jaap. How are you doing?
Hi, Ross. Yeah, still need some time to recover from the second race.
Yeah, it was a very hectic second race indeed. Obviously, you managed to get I believe you got a podium in the first race, unless I'm not remembering incorrectly. But second race, it was just absolutely chaotic. Do you want to just kind of run us through what was going on from your perspective?
I was so surprised to get a front row start in qualifying. I was so happy to be in front of Oscar. Those Vermin guys were out of this world in terms of pace. So I was happy with that. Race 1 was great as well. Race 2 took it really easy on the start. Didn't want to cause any incidents, of course. Lost, I guess, 1 position or something. But then I got Maxi on my back. He started from P10. And I know Maxi. I know him for a year or 4 now. In the meanwhile, we all know him. I know he's aggressive. I know he wants to win. I know he's got a fast car. So I get all that. But the way he was driving, I mean, he could expect that I would defend my position, of course. But wait, let me put it this way: his driving level impressed me in the first race, and it impressed me in the second race as well. But on a whole different level.
Yeah, that's.
It's better not to comment too much because it's better just to keep it with that. I'm not impressed.
Yeah, I think the best thing to do with that is to let the stewards decide on what's happened.
Yeah, I guess there was a little bit of karma for him on the last lap, so maybe he doesn't have to leave it with that. But I would expect different from us over here. Just Monaco is such a difficult track; it's almost impossible to overtake. And then you shouldn't dive bomb into lows. It's just crazy. And he was dive bombing everywhere. What do you expect? I mean, from a rookie driver, I can understand it that you'd make mistakes, but this wasn't a mistake. It was just out of frustration, trying to push through and whatever it takes. It made no sense to me. But I'll stop.
No, it's fine. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Yap, and again, great performance for you as well. You did super great job out there, so thank you very much.
I'm very happy. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Well, there you have one Jaap Wagenvoort, who was obviously voicing a not too happy opinion there. So we'll just have to keep an eye on what happens over the course of the week with the stewards' decision. But that will be it from us here at Formula Trout. So it's thank you from myself for tuning in to the Sprint Series Season 5, Round 1 at Monaco. Obviously, again, apologies for the very last minute jump in and the late start again. We did have technical issues. Zach was supposed to come in and commentate and then had to drop out at the last minute. And a big thank you as well to Connor for coming along and for the second race. Yeah, thank you very much, Connor.
Thank you.
Yeah, so make sure you tune in. Again, obviously next week we'll have the next race for the Premier Series at the Nürburgring, and then in 2 weeks' time we'll be heading again in the Sprint Series over to Road America. So make sure you tune in for that. Goodbye for now.
Laguna Seca.
Laguna Seca, same track. Goodbye for now.